Hi friends, and welcome to Lucky Teeth. With more and more of Ariana Grande's scandals being brought to light, I thought it would be fun if this week we took a hard look at her even more badly behaved brother Frankie. And apparently I have perfect timing because in the middle of recording this video, it was announced that Frankie Grande will be returning for season 25 of Big Brother. And this is after his original stint on season 16 of the show, which we will be discussing today because that season really showed his true colors back in 2014. So let's let Frankie show us who he truly is before the sugar-coated PR makeover that he's gotten since Ariana's rise to fame. We'll be working our way through his scandals on Big Brother season 16, from his weird comments about lesbians all the way to one of the most offensive, disgusting moments in all of reality TV history, when Frankie made a ridiculously long rape joke. And look, I filmed and edited and uploaded this twice with lots of supporting evidence in the form of clips from the show, but Big Brother footage is copywritten, so I will be describing the problems that he had on the show and then directing you on where to find the videos as we go. So without further ado, let's get into it. And I want to start off really small with some of his offhanded comments and weird moments, just to establish a pattern and get the full picture on Frankie's character. So let's start with one of his least offensive moments. Frankie had hidden for weeks from the beginning of the show that he was Ariana's brother until he was having a weak moment and needed to regain the favor of the other housemates. He gathered the boys together first and spent a long while telling them that he was YouTube famous, and he listed his number of followers on multiple platforms multiple times.
I walked into this house with 1.5 million followers.
Mentioned repeatedly that Ariana Grande is his sister and that he did Broadway. And when he was done with that, he called a house meeting for everybody and he told them all again. It was incredibly awkward for multiple reasons, including that Ariana was fairly early in her career as a pop star and people didn't exactly know who she was. Lots of awkward, long pauses as he tries to get them to guess who he's related to based off of his last name. It was also incredibly self-masturbatory on Frankie's part, and he definitely didn't need to have two house meetings. It was very much giving SpongeBob's
5 hours later.
And people looked bored, and some even left the room before he had totally finished his big announcement. Clips of both of his speeches are available on YouTube, and I obviously can't post because of the copywritten material. Okay, moving along. Frankie became close with Zach, one of the straight men in the house, and was always making sexual advances on him. And Zach actually seemed to find it funny and played into a lot of his advances, so much so that Zach said Frankie was his boyfriend in the house, and they coined the name Zranky. Zach spoke very sweetly about Frankie and seemed very trusting of him. Meanwhile, Frankie said in a condescending tone that Zach was like a little puppy dog that followed him around and did everything with him, saying, "I don't know what I have in him, but it's lovely for now," in kind of this questioning tone. He went on to betray Zach's trust not long after this and was plotting to have him evicted from the house. When that didn't work and Zach was angry and felt betrayed, Frankie worked to manipulate his way back into Zach's good graces. And Zach did come out later as bi, which is kind of extra sad because you realize he was discovering that he had a crush on Frankie as time went on, and he was exploring this new, fragile side of his sexuality just to find out that Frankie had been plotting against him. All of this can be found on YouTube as well. Next, he said that one of his fellow Big Brother castmates could go kill herself if she was upset at something he had done. This was shortly after this same housemate, who happened to be a pastor, had performed a memorial service for his recently deceased grandfather. After that, he wanted to dabble in a little lesbian erasure, stating that, quote, "Men have a genetic predisposition towards being attracted to other men. There's genetic markers in your blood, there's pheromone receptors in your nose. Women who have been with man after man after man choose to become lesbian later in life. Gay men, it doesn't work so much that way. It's usually like, oh, okay, I'm gay." End quote. Now, the clip of him actually saying this has basically been scrubbed from the internet, so when you search for it, all that can be found is his attempt to clean up his image, which he did on a morning talk show where he blamed what he said on an article that he had read and stated that he meant that people find courage later in life to embrace who they truly are, but he never cleared up what he meant with the original comment that figuring out that you're gay late in life only applies to women and gay men just know. So for this next part, it's insanely uncomfortable to talk about, but I really think we need to discuss it. In the video, you can see how funny Frankie thinks he is, and he's very proud of himself. And I don't want to put any words in his mouth, but the video will get taken down if I include the clips. So I'll tell you how to find the video if you decide you want to watch it after I describe the video to you. So trigger warning, here we go. To set the scene, there is a room of probably 4 people, Frankie, a girl, and 2 guys. They're talking about who's going to drink that night, and the girl tells one of the guys to please not sleep with Victoria because she'll be feisty and they'll both be drunk. Victoria is absent from this entire conversation. Frankie chimes in and says that both of the men should double team her, and one of the men replies, "We would ruin her. There would be blood all over the place." Frankie replies that they should take all of her virginities in one night. The men start getting uncomfortable, and one of them says, "Oh no, that's so foul." And then there's some laughing, and one of the guys mentioned that her dad is going to watch this, and that it's fucked up, and that they're cringing. The room laughs some more while they debate what they would do, and someone says something about beer goggles. They laugh some more before Frankie starts repeatedly saying an unintelligible word with an annoying voice, miming sort of a humping motion and waving 2 fingers on each hand. Everyone gets more uncomfortable, and one of the men says no several times in an attempt to make Frankie stop. The girl, who hasn't spoken in a while and sounds a little uncomfortable, agrees that it would be so funny. It gets quiet, and one of the guys says, "A little inappropriate," before Frankie loudly doubles down, repeating the unintelligible word again and doing his finger gun hand motion, this time licking his fingers and making forward thrusting motions with them. The men keep trying to say that they're uncomfortable while he loudly screeches over them, enjoying making the other people uneasy. And you can find this video by searching TMZ Frankie Grande joke if you want to see it for yourself. So yeah, it's pretty disgusting, and I can't imagine being the girl he was discussing, sitting down with her family to watch her season of Big Brother and seeing what Frankie really thought of her and all the graphic things that her housemates had been saying behind her back. The clip speaks for itself, so give it a watch if you're mentally in a good place to do so. Frankly, I think Frankie could use some intensive therapy to self-reflect and figure out why he is the way that he is before coming back to his career as a big-time social media mogul.
Social media mogul. Social media mogul. Queen of YouTube.
All I can think is that between all of Frankie's over-the-top bad behavior and all of the news about Ariana's long history of homewrecking and the footage of her disrespecting customer service workers spitting on donuts, these two have some serious issues. And if you don't know what I'm talking about with Ariana, I broke her scandals down in my last video. Anyway, how do you feel about all of this coming to light? Do you feel any differently about Frankie after that clip? Or did you already know about Frankie's nasty past? Let me know how you're feeling below. I think there's a real discussion to be had. And don't forget to like and subscribe. My mind, unfortunately for me, is full of these forgotten pop culture moments, and I have so many more videos like this on the way. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye!